Oh, that connected really quickly. I guess we are already live. So, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rugby Muscle Podcast live Q&A edition. It's been a few months since we've done one of these, but I wanted to. It's not because I didn't want to get these going. It's just because things have been going on and been a little bit hectic. But now we have time to get back to these monthly live Q&As on the YouTube. So if you are joining me live, ask those questions in the comments below. If you're joining us post-fact, you can always still ask them in the questions below because they'll be reloaded for next month's Q&A. Or you can just, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. And you can always ask a question in the reviews because I'll answer those as well. But thank you for joining us. If you are on the live, also give it a thumbs up because then it'll push this Q&A into more people's YouTube feeds, which is always good. And it also helps out the algorithm, as I will be mentioning a few times in future videos. We're now up over 5,000, which is cool, particularly when you think about rugby somewhat struggling as far as like grassroots level goes, because I've seen a lot of cancelled games. I've seen a lot of teams pull out and stuff. So to have this channel still growing means that there are still people that really have a passion about the game, a passion about playing their best rugby. And of course, if you are new to the channel and that's you, hit subscribe to make sure you are joining us. The way this works is I've put questions up or a post up on both on the Facebook group and on the YouTube community page. And on those posts, I've asked you to ask questions. I haven't got too many because I think just because people haven't been expecting this, because we haven't done this in such a while. But we do have some questions to get through. But of course, if you are watching on the live, asking those questions live will also be prioritized. So we'll work our way through the questions that are already preloaded. But if you're joining us on the live, give us a thumbs up, and of course, ask a question in the comments. This is your chance really to really get a personal answer to your question, and I'll do my best to answer the ones personally, because sometimes a lot of people will ask generic questions. You can absolutely describe your situation and ask what you think is best. And we all have these sort of questions where we're not quite sure on the finer details of our plan, and therefore we sort of chop and change, and then we change our whole plan. And this is something that leads a lot of people to go in that cycle of 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, or a month on, get to about a month, makes decent enough progress, but then start questioning yourself, then start questioning what you're even doing. Motivation then crashes, and you end up regressing and feeling guilty about not staying consistent. So the purpose of these Q&As is to provide as much detail as I can to help you in your pursuit of playing your best rugby and developing yourself strength, conditioning, fitness, nutrition-wise, to be your best self. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. I want to cough, but I don't want to. I want to see if I can mute myself before I cough, so I'll do that. There we go, I nailed that. So first question comes in from Josh Stan the Man 1. He says, 3-day full bodies. Full body, I guess, means full body workouts. Is it a good enough split to run year round in the off season and during season? So 3-day full body is 90-ish% of the time the split I would recommend for the gym, especially for off season. So is it good enough? Absolutely it is. It's the one I would recommend 90% of the time. Absolutely good enough. Now, obviously, this would depend on a lot of factors, but if you apply to 90, but if the result of those factors is 90% of people end up doing pretty much a 3-body full day, then yeah, it's good enough. The question being good enough irks me just a little bit, because that implies that doing 4 or 5 days is better. That is not the case when it comes to rugby strength and conditioning. Like, if you can get 80 to 90% of your best results by doing 3 full body days, that is fantastic, right? You can get, obviously that implies that you can then get maybe 20, probably less, probably like 15 to 10% maybe extra gains on top of that by going 5 times a week, by going 6 times a week. But that doesn't mean it's better. That means it's just taking up more of, you're actually getting less of a reward for that extra time that you're spending in the gym. And when you're spending that time in the gym, you're not spending it almost certainly doing your conditioning, almost certainly not doing your speed work, almost certainly not doing your skill work. There are just lots of other things that you can focus on as a rugby player that don't involve the gym, that if you're just going 3, maybe 4 times a week, ticking that box, right? Getting enough strength, getting enough hypertrophy going. That's all you need. Gym work goes, right? You can develop power in that time. You can develop strength. You can develop hypertrophy. All right, that was a mistake in checking to see if the stream was working. I somehow shut down the stream. I'm not really sure how that works, but it looks like that's what I did. So without further ado, let's not waste any time in getting on to the very next question, which comes from Aaron Jock 9, who says, I wanted to hear, this is a response to his initial question, which was focusing on off-season. So he says, I wanted to hear Rugby Muscles. Oh, okay, it looks like we're back. It looks like we're back on the live stream.